Okay, with us today, as you see him back in the corner, to deliver the keynote address is our PennDOT Secretary of Transportation, Mr. Barry Schoch. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Good morning, everybody. I want to thank our colleagues from the other DOTs that are here today to share their experiences on this. And I just want to give a few remarks about why you're here and why we're even talking about this. And then give you an opportunity to ask me a couple of questions before you get on with the sessions today. But from our perspective as an industry, the reason we're looking at this is our customers, the taxpayers, are often interested, and I heard a lot about this as we're going through the funding debate from legislators, is why are we in an area in construction, then why are we back in there quickly? And sometimes it's because of the type of treatment we do. Sometimes it's because we're doing a repair, not a reconstruction. Sometimes it's because we're doing some maintenance and we know we're going to be back out there. But sometimes we're putting down materials that we expect to last a long time, and they don't. And from a lot of legislators' standpoint, they look at that at this agency as saying, you're not doing your job. And why should we put more money into this agency when you're not doing the appropriate either design or construction methods to make it last? And they hold us responsible. And maybe they should, whether it's us or the Turnpike, we're the owners, and we're the ones ultimately responsible for the decisions about what we do. But I've always talked to all of you that I looked at this as one industry. And while we might be the owners, you're the contractors. We outsource 76% of what we do. And private entities do a lot of that work for us, obviously. And it comes down to a question of risk management. For you, for us, I mean, Gary Hoffman's here from the Asphalt Association, and when we talk about concrete, asphalt, either one, we've had dialogues with both about the fact that what we really are looking for, as you just heard Chuck talk about with the introductory comments, is a warranty that if you're going to be responsible for it, how about taking some of the risk and responsibility with us and saying, we're going to decide what we want to put down within the material specifications we give you, and are you willing to stand behind that product for a longer period of time? And by doing so, could we then reduce the amount of inspection and testing that we do? Meaning, if you're going to guarantee it or warranty it for a certain period of time, does that reduce the need for us to do as much inspection and much of the cost that we bear of monitoring what we're doing? So I hear a lot I've heard it my whole career when I was in design and consulting with contractors that, boy, we sure get a lot of inspection in Pennsylvania. We get a lot of oversight. We get a lot of people involved in all of our decisions. And, for a long time, this agency has been more, I'll say, on the conservative side of saying, we'll be out there. We'll be looking at each each method, each test, and inspecting and telling you when you fail. And in the end, the question is, did that get us a longer life out of a product, or would it go better the other way, where we simply say, you choose a little bit more, we'll give you a little bit more flexibility, but you warranty it. And I know there are issues related to bonding. I know there's issues related to insurability. Tony and Jen and I have had conversations about this issue related to what other states have done. Federal Highways has been a great partner doing some research for us. And I know there's costs involved in that. And there's things that show up on your books as liabilities depending on how long the warranty's out there. So I know this isn't something that's an easy issue. But like many things that we're looking at here within the department, we feel that it's worth exploring to see how far we can push the envelope and pilot some things to see whether it can end up with a more effective result for us, more cost-effective result. And the only way you're going to know that is if we try it, we learn from what some other states have done, and we see what the total initial cost is, including the cost of placing the material and building it, the cost of our inspection and monitoring in comparison to our traditional method. And if you look back at the industry and you think about things we're doing differently today, be it design build, the P3 program we're now doing with our rapid bridge replacement, none of that stuff was occurring 15 or 20 years ago, maybe a little bit of design build. But early in my career, we certainly weren't doing much design build. And as we experimented with some of the things, we found that some methods of delivery are more suitable for design build than others. And now we're experimenting with P3. And we'll see whether that method of delivery is better for total bridge replacements for a large group or not. We don't know the answer to that yet. We may not know the answer for many years. But if we don't try it, if we don't experiment, we'll never know, and we'll never advance the industry. And I think that's what today's all about, frankly, is listening to what other states have already tried and learned, listening to each other in terms of identifying the issues, constraints, obstacles, costs, and then trying to find solutions that will come up with a way for this industry to try to see what we can do with warranties, to see what we can do to push the envelope a little bit on that. If we can extend it a little further and we try it and we find out that the inspection costs are lower, the upfront costs are lower, maybe the back end costs are higher, I don't know. We won't know that. But if we don't try it, we'll never know. And had our predecessors not tried design build, we wouldn't know that that was appropriate for certain methods of delivery. So, I tell our own staff when I'm talking within the department, I say, look, we have a legacy responsibility here to those who came before us, who tried new things and pushed the envelope on behalf of the agency and the industry. And we have a responsibility to those who will come after us to do the same thing. Because we're all just caretakers of the industry right now. And we need to experiment with things that we think might be better for the long haul. And for me, the reason a lot of this is driving us towards trying this was the entire dialogue about what became Act 89. We got a $2.4 billion raise as an industry, which is a huge vote of confidence from the legislature that we collectively can deliver on improving the quality of our transportation system in Pennsylvania. But most of the debate I had with those who weren't I'll say jumping out of their seats to vote for this was, I'm not sure I want to invest more in this because I don't necessarily see the efficiency out on the road. And that's not pointing a finger at anybody in this room. It's just simply they felt that in some cases we weren't getting perhaps the best return on the dollar of investment. And I listened to that, and I made them promises to them that, look, we're pushing the envelope on a lot of new things within the department under our next generation envelope, and whether it's mapping the future with our turnpike colleagues that are here or our own initiatives at PennDOT. But I said, what you will see, and I promise you this, is you'll see us trying some new methods of delivery, meaning P3. You'll see us pushing to see what we can do with the industry on warranties, to see if we can't do what some of the other has happened overseas perhaps and other places where we see more of a warranty opportunity. And we'll find out. And I told them, I said, we may find out that warranties aren't going to work, that it might be a short-term warranty. We might find out that 2-3 years is about the best we're going to be able to do. We got an aging system. Sometimes the material underneath isn't in such good condition. That creates a problem for warranties. But we'll find out. And I made the promise to the legislature that we would push the envelope to find out what would be best. And that's why, from my perspective, it's a promise I want to honor. And it's something, again, that on behalf of the industry, for those of us that are here today, for those who will be here 20 years from now sitting in a room like this saying, why didn't they look at warranties 20 years ago? Why didn't they see whether this would be effective? And I'd like them to look back at those of us who were here in the industry at this time and say, we did our jobs to explore this to the utmost possibility of what could be done. So, be honest today and be very frank in your dialogue. For those of you here that are, and I listened as you were introducing yourselves, we've got contractors, engineers, suppliers, association people here, representatives from our agency, the Turnpike, Federal Highways, the other states that are here. Be honest about what the concerns you might have. Be honest about the issues are real from your perspective. And then talk about how to combat those, how we could come up with a system to help minimize the concerns of those that are raised and give this a shot to see how effective it can be. If we don't, we'll never know. And for those before us, again, who pushed the envelope on a similar discussion on design build, they were willing to take the chance. They were willing to explore it. They found out that some things were better suited than others for design build. And now we got a program that we know pretty much going out of the chute which projects are going to fit the design build mold and which ones aren't. So you got a lot of collective experience here in this room, a lot more than I have a thumbnail understanding of what many of you have told me about these warranty issues. So I'm the last person to stand here and debate the merits of it with you. What I am asking you to do is to bring that expertise to the table, have the dialogue in the forum you've got set up today with all the different panels, and come back to us with some ideas about what we could do. And whatever the answer is, I'm fine with it, okay? I don't want you to think that and Rebecca's smiling at because I say that all the time when we get into a next generation effort. I always tell the staff that's looking at it, I'm okay if the answer is we're going to continue to do exactly what we're doing today. I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay if we don't explore it fully. And if we don't talk about what would happen risk-wise if we took a chance on something else, what would happen from the positive side and the negative side of changing our course of action. I'm not okay if we don't at least have that discussion. That's what you're going to do here today. I know there's similar discussions going on in other parts of the industry related to warranties. And collectively, we'll find out whether we're in the right place today or whether we can move a lot further or a little bit further. And any of it is fine with me. So I don't want you to think I'll be disappointed if the end result is what we're doing today is about the best we can do. It will mean at least the collective expertise of this room will have been brought to bear to that topic and agree that that's the best we can do. But we won't know it if we don't talk about it. We won't know it if you're not honest about the issues, be they costs related to insurance, be they costs related to the bonding, be they problems related to the bonding and what it means to sitting on your books from a liability standpoint. Those are all very real issues, and I know that. So have a dialogue about it today, see what we can come up with, and we'll continue to talk about it. And you will probably see us trying to pilot some, depending on the outcomes of discussions like this and evaluation of our own staff and those from the industry. So we're gonna listen carefully to what the industry is telling us. We understand the business ramifications for you for some of these things, and if it becomes too problematic, we won't do it. So I hope that gives you an idea just a little bit about why we're interested in this, why we're taking a look at it, why we're very happy to, in this case, be able to learn from some of the states that are here that have already explored this, to see what they've learned from what they've done, and then see what we can apply here in Pennsylvania. So I appreciate very much all of you taking time out of your schedules for what you would normally be doing. For the companies who have, the private companies who sent their people here, I thank you. Please pass on my thanks to whoever allowed you to be here today, because it's taking time out of your running your business to help us evaluate what we might do. And that's important, and I appreciate it. So that's my view of why you're here and what we're doing, and from my perspective, why we're taking a look at it. So again, I thank you for being here. I look forward to hearing what occurred today and how it might shape the future of where we're going to go. So with that, I'll stop and take any questions from anybody about what I just said, or anything in general about the program. If you have any questions about where we are at the program or anything else, be happy to answer them while I'm here.